Yo, what is good, family? Hope you all are having an amazing day. Let's kick it off with today's video. We're gonna break down some higher time frames on Bitcoin, the last trade before Christmas. Basically, we have a interesting situation on the weekly time frame. Bearish movement for the whole month of October and November, slowing down on this demand area, and the daily time frame signals pretty clear the whole bearish trend that we had for the whole month of October and most of November. Then we have this massive consolidation for the whole month of December. Literally, this is the December's range. This is horrendous. Obviously, for any swing trading strategy, this is as bad as it can get, literally. And the entries that you're gonna get are mostly fake outs or entries that will end up on some cut earlys or some break evens. In any way, your objective is always follow your systems and your strategies. And as in any other range, we can say, all right, this is the high of the range, this is the low of the range, and we're waiting for price either to break to the upside or to the downside. That will be the most standard way to understand this range and this period of the market. We can dive deeper and say, all right, we have liquidity above the highs, we have liquidity below the lows. If the market first goes to take the highs, it can of course go to the all-time highs, but it can also most probably go and take the lows. That's why I will not like to see the price first taking the highs, because it means that we have a very good chance of having a new lower low below 80,000. If the market goes and takes first the lows, that's fantastic. All right, that will be my favorite S scenario. Remember that this is the daily time frame, so this doesn't happen in a day or in a week. It can happen in a week, but it's not the most normal S scenario. Right, this can be on kind of long run for perhaps even beginning of February, middle January. All right, it doesn't have to be for this weekend, for example. If it happens this weekend, that's fantastic. It's a catalyst, but it doesn't have to be. All right. If market eventually takes the lows, I will just go and prepare myself to go and take the highs. That will be the most normal S scenario that I will be looking for. All right. Now, that's for the daily time frame. For the 40 hours, now we have a different setup. All right, for the 40 hours, we can have kind of a different scenario, simply because we can dive deeper into the structure. And basically, what we have on the 40 hours is a low, high, higher low, sorry, lower low, and higher high. So understanding this, we have simply a bullish break of a structure, a pretty nice and clean range in the 40 hours, which gives to us the demand area that we're looking for. Pretty much this imbalance, this gap in the price is the level that market is currently respecting. We can correlate it with some kind of fib levels and so on and so forth. Not the most important thing. We just understand that we are on a good area to potentially going up. Now, after breaking this down, we go to the 1 hour, because in the 1 hour is where I personally like to execute my swings. I like to filter the bias between the daily and the 4 hours and then execute in the 1 hour. The good thing about the 1 hour is that most of the setups are swing, but some others thankfully are intraday, and they happen pretty fast just because of the volatility of the market in that specific day. But in this case, we will be potentially looking for a swing, because the target is actually a little bit further from what I'm used to. So yeah, potentially this will be a swing trade. Now, what I'm looking for on a swing trade is pretty simple. We just have to apply the same M5R method on this structure, but in the 1 hour. We have a low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Bearish break of structure, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break of a structure, high, and then a lower low, which turns this into a lower high. Now, understanding this, we can now go into the next step, which is, all right, what type of price action will I be looking for? And it's as simple as just a break and close above the last significant lower high, which is this one. As soon as I have a break and close above that level, I will execute the buy at the close of the candle, invalidation at the low, and my last target will be the highest high in the 4 hours. Pretty simple, all right? Now, what happens if price creates a new lower low? My break and close level will be the most recent lower high, therefore it will not be this one anymore, and I will just go over the brand new lower high level. As simple as that. Why am I looking for longs? Because in the 4 hours we are inside of a bullish range that is already corrected to the 50% of the range. All right, it's pretty obvious, but we can throw the fib and see that we are clearly further than the 50%. All right, so understanding this, we have the 4 hours bullish pull back to the 50%. We have 1 hour, the 1 hour time frame setting up for a bullish. So having this, we have everything. We don't need anything else. When we have the break and close, I will jump into the long. If we never have the break and close, well, it's what it is. All right, we will have other options that we just broke down in the beginning of the setup. But this will be the last trade before Christmas, let's say. All right. So guys, with this being said, remember on the description of the video, you have the link to my Instagram. You can talk to my DMs and ask if we have available spots for the private group of students, and you will have access to all my intensive courses with all my strategies, to all my live analysis sessions from Monday to Friday in English and Spanish, and also access to the private app where I send all my market ideas in Forex and crypto. With that being said, see you all in the next videos. Let's get it.